Hi, I'm Vinay. I'm a candidate for Richmond City Council. Today, I will outline a clear vision and a clear plan for campaign finance reform to replace our out of control campaign finance system. I will have a second campaign finance video to answer some constitutional questions and to lay out my plan for dealing with the scourge of fake news. The campaign finance problem isn't actually caused by politicians. It's caused by a long line of Supreme Court decisions from Buckley versus Vallejo in the 1970s to the Citizens United case a few years ago. In all these cases, the Supreme Court maintains that limiting campaign money is equivalent to limiting free speech. Yes, the Supreme Court is saying that essentially money equals speech. I will buy that when my right to free speech translates into my right to free money. Until then, I'm just going to call it out for what it is. A way to transfer income and wealth inequalities into political inequality in order to maintain the unequal status quo. So let's start with, why do we need all this money? In the past, it was expensive to produce and distribute TV and newspapers. So it took a lot of money to get your message out. Today, Facebook is free. The monthly charge of a website is less than the cost of 2 cups of coffee. Internet, most of us have it. Video cameras, most of us have smartphones. So why exactly do we need all this money? To harass people with campaign ads and campaign mailers? All that the money does is give someone an unnatural advantage that has nothing to do with the power of their ideas or their social network or their record of accomplishment. So with the changing technology that has reduced the cost of getting your message out, we need to change our view of campaign finance. We should get away from this old model of trying to curb unlimited money in campaigns. Instead, we need to start with zero-based campaign budget model. Yes, we assume $0 and then figure out what kinds and amounts of campaign contributions are justified. Now, not everyone can participate equally in politics. There are the disabled, the elderly, there are busy working parents, there are people with high value jobs like doctors and firefighters, and we don't want them to set their job of saving lives aside in order to knock on doors. It is inappropriate for the government to determine who genuinely needs to replace their sweat equity with money. And we should always err generously on the side of free speech. So I think everyone should be allowed to contribute money. Question: how much? Again, we should err generously on the side of free speech. So let's not think about how much time the average person spends in political campaigns, which is almost nothing. But think about how much time a politically active person spends. Again, let's be generous. Let's say 15 hours a week for 12 weeks. That makes 180 hours. At $14 an hour, that is $2,500. Something like that should be the cap on individual political contributions. And it should be a cap for the entire political cycle, for the entire campaign cycle, not for an individual race. You should not allow organizations to make political contributions, be they corporations or special interest groups like the Chamber of Commerce, like the Sierra Club, or unions, because that would mean double dipping. What is the best way to administer this? The government should set up an independent trust fund. People can put money into this trust fund up to the maximum limit allowed, and then they can indicate how much goes to which campaign. The independent fund can then distribute that money to that campaign, but without giving the name of the donor. There is simply no reason for the politician to know who is contributing to his or her political campaign. So, combined with the small amounts of the campaign contributions and the anonymity of these contributions, this will virtually eliminate the influence of campaign money in the politician's decision making. Now, some of you may be thinking, how can this be done legally? Well, I'll have a second campaign finance video in which I will answer those questions and lay out my plan for dealing with fake news. But if you agree that we need campaign finance reform like this to make our elections truly democratic, please share this video with all your friends. We need to build a movement here to take our democracy back. Thanks. I'm Vinay and I'm running for Richmond City Council.